Hansi Flick has done an incredible job with Barcelona, turning them back into European powerhouses, a semi-final, and doing well in La Liga, above the rivals of Real Madrid, but money troubles still kind of follow, as there was issues over Dani Olmo's registration into the squad at the start of the season, and overall it's been a messy road to get to this point with the team that deserves some long success after the days of Messi, Suarez and Neymar. As today I gave Flick a chance at my favourite Spanish team. That's right, for 10 seasons as we aim to bring long-term success. Yes, people, they're finally back. Some of you guys were asking for the 10-season rebuilds to return, as this is a squad we have. I've been so excited for this. We haven't done one outside of England. And now we go to my favourite Spanish team. Of course, I had to put the kit on for this one. And how 10 seasons work, we spin a wheel to start off with. You're going to see that in a second, but we do have this leaderboard with top scorers, top assisters, and we've only done it in the Premier League, as La Liga will join it, so we're keeping on with the scoring to see if there will be a new top scorer overall in 10 season rebuilds. However, will it be the Barcelona player we have to keep all save, as this wheel right here will decide one player from the first team and bench that has to stay for the entire save. We cannot sell them, and it's Gavi. Very happy with that, but we are not done with keeping the players here, as these are the reserve ones. Please just give a youngster to us. Paulo Torre as well. Okay, so Gavi and Torre cannot leave Barcelona at all. As you can see, I've signed their contracts up again, and it does mean they can't go out on loan, which Pablo Torre probably could have done with. But who am I kidding? We don't really need to loan him. He can go on the bench. We can loan some others out. As one I definitely won't be loaning out, Lamine Yamal, 16. Unbelievable. Ronaldo Araujo is one of my favorite players to use in FC 25. And Gavi himself is only 19, so he's going to grow and be part of the team. Going forward, there's no other challenges. I would like to change this team up a bit. De Jong maybe could move, as we need to make De Jong and Pedri CDMs in this team, as we can't change from Flick's formation or tactics. We have to play them, or if we do want to change it, Flick will have to be sacked. And in real life, I don't think he deserves it, so I'm going to try and avoid him getting sacked here, as 83 million euros. I've got a plan for season 1 here. La Masia is Barcelona's academy, where Gavi came through, and is granted as one of the world's best, but it's failing here in FC. Going to get rid of all these players, and I'm going to restart it for next season, as hopefully we can produce youth, not just one, a few, to go for the 10 seasons, and replace the players that get old, as we only have one scout in Lerauri. I'm going to get another one in Matthew Balzan, and another one in a German called Damien Schmitz, who is going to go to Spain. I'm going to look for probably defenders from him in season 1, as you can see, across the back line and DM. Then Balzan's going to go Brazil. Hopefully he can find the next Neymar Jr. or Neymar Junior's Larari. He's got to go Argentina. If we could find the next Messi and just have him for the entire save, I would love it. As without further ado, let's see how our scouts have done. Okay, not bad at all. Our best player's actually a Brazilian, but then we've got some Spanish in Cortez, and I do see a lot of potential here for the future, as I've promoted some, but now I need to get my starting 11 together, as I actually don't want to make a signing. I want to leave the team that's successful in real life to be successful, to be so in this save. There's only 2 changes to the starting 11. Araujo at the back, and Ter Stegen gets his chance in net. Let's see how much it can grow on its own. As you can see, some growth in our injured man, the tip-to-be, soon-to-be Ballon d'Or winner. Rafinha literally is that good. He's 94 rated. Then the second is Ter Stegen, Koundé, and Yamal already getting up there with his rating, which is fair play to him. But I thought about Ansu Fati and trying to revive his career, but we've got some players leaving, and he is one of them to Real Madrid. Also Alejandro Balde. This man has to go on a release clause because I haven't sold him. That wasn't my choice. Sure, I wanted to release Martinez and Szczesny because they're both old, but I can't forget about release clauses that are tied into some players' contracts, which is going to be sneaky. We never encountered them too much in England, as I did a lot of loaning. Mark Calçado's done well. He was the highest rated I actually loaned out. Some good growth there, though. And as for our academy players, this man's done the best. The Brazilian Diogo Machado, +4 at Bristol Rovers, which is surprising to me. But he might take over Leva, who is now an 85 rated. So we've got 2 positions we have to encounter next year in striker. And of course, left back that's just left us. Balde as our top scorer. He doesn't even need time to grow because he's +3, but plus 26 goals to his tally at only 17. Lamine the dream, but that's not the dream. We're actually nowhere near the title. The rivals above us by 5 points. Atleti dance their way to the title. Not something we want to see in the Supercopa. Should be an easy trophy, but no. Real Madrid are beating us here. We've got an aging squad in places as Villarreal win the Copa de España. Out in the quarterfinals to Real Madrid again. They've got our number. Hopefully find a way around them in the Champions League, but they're still there. They are top of the league phase table. Villa in second, us in third. This is where they are in the semi-finals as Manchester City beaten. PSG beaten. This is a run for the century from Barcelona. All my days we've beaten Liverpool. If we don't win La Liga, but we win the Champions League? What an achievement this would be as on penalties against Milano. I don't believe it. Without a left back, an aging striker, Lamine Yamal has carried the team who only used La Masia this year to that UCL title you just saw. What a start for the 10 seasons, but we need to keep it up. And like and subscribe to give us the luck to do so. 60k is what we're aiming for, and we're aiming for more trophies here as we've got players back from loan deals. We've got a load of players out of contract, and like I said, we've got to watch the release clauses, especially on this man right here, Lamine Yamal. I'm going to sign him straight up, make sure he's here long term. 4 years will do me, come on. I mean, it's not the whole 10 seasons, but it is very good work to have him for at least half of the save we're doing. The only issue is one of the men we have to keep in Pablo Torre. I've opted to play out wide, but he's going to be behind Rafinha, behind Yamal, and that was a decision I had to make because Gavi's going to be a CDM. Same with Pedri, and hopefully Fermin our cam because we have to promote one youth player. I don't want to leave another one out. Fermin can go the whole way, so he's going to be part of this squad going forward, as most of these players are, but the main position I want is a left back. Lewandowski, one more season, please. Can you just give us one more year? Maybe we can get another striker in to play behind him for now, but 154 mil. And seeing as Real Madrid signed one of our left backs, I'm going to go and sign one of their old ones. I'm pretty sure, anyway. He's a little bit old, but Theo Hernandez. An eye for an eye. It might not be the most popular of choices, but I definitely need a guy that's capable at the moment, despite being 27. I trust him as 52 million euros left. I think that might cause trouble this year because I think that does shut La Masia down for a second. Because I'm going to get a good player to back up Lewandowski, someone around the same rating. Or maybe not because I can't find any talent in the Bundesliga, the last place I'm searching. Maybe I do go back to youth, but youth in a different direction. Going for this man, Counter Elias, a 19-year-old Brazilian forward. No, it is not Luis Suarez, but it's a Neymar kind of flair player. Him and Rafinha could be a good partnership in this team. So I'm going to sign him for the future. Hopefully not a flop like Victor Roque. And use him for the future as there he is with a place on the bench. As I don't believe it. No Ballon d'Or as well for Yamal or Rafinha. It goes to the man that won La Liga, Julian Alvarez at Atleti. And I tell you what, if they're both not up for it this year, I'm going to be fuming as this team looks different. No. Where the hell is Pedri and where the hell is Kurbasi? 2 youth players as now when we stole from Milano, they stole straight back with Pedri. Them release clauses are killing us, man. We'll need to make signings. Unless Gavi steps straight in there. And of course, now he's hitting 85 rating. Now he's gone to Arsenal. Pau Kurbasi really wanted to use him as La Masia is upgrading, but it's also losing its best talent. It's produced in the last few years, and now Rafinha is running out of contract. I'm going to try and sign him up, but there is them pesky release clauses. No one's took Yamal, my sweet, sweet prince. Seriously, 92 rated at 18, this lad. He's phenomenal. As he doesn't score more than Rafinha, though. 42 goals, 13 assists each. 4 goals for Kawa as well. He's now 20-year-old. I'm going to trust him a little bit longer, and at least he will replace Lewandowski soon, as it must have been head-to-head because the goal difference better for Real Madrid, but Barcelona finally where they belong, on top of La Liga, making it our second trophy, but still, we must have beat them head-to-head in the league, but not in the Supercopa because they beat us 2-0 in the finale. Still a shame that one, as Atleti still winning trophies. We were beaten by Huesca, who reached the final, and that's not good for the Ballon d'Or. I want to win it again, as a 3-1 win over Fenerbahce does secure another trophy. That counts. That was the Super Cup, as at least Pedri finished below us in the league phase, but Celtic above us. We don't go automatically through. It's a playoff round for Barcelona, who beat AEK Athens. Okay, a good sign to start off with. However, a 3-0 win is not enough to come back against Liverpool. Disappointment rolling into Season 3 is disappointment in our academy as well. Like Bernal, Fort, and Valle are doing decent, the real-life players we started with. But some of our loanees that we brought through the academy, apart from Kebenzas and Machado doing decently, I don't rate the rest of them too highly. And of course, we need some more positions this year. We do have another centre-back, but CDM. Well, actually, no. Casado replaced by Gavi, a player that cannot leave the team because he's on that huge contract, and we can now increase, or not increase, but at least change him to a CDM, so he will be in position now. Taking over from Pedri as Frankie de Jong. He changes +2 because he's now a CDM. Changing a lot of positions around as Ferran Torres, well, technically can be a striker, which I am going to make him just for the reason Lewandowski's getting older. But I do want to trust this Kawa Elias guy. I think he's the future for us. Yes, only a +2, but he's got that potential to be special. So Lewandowski is probably going to be second choice this season. Torres first. Loan out Kawa Elias, and yes, I am trusting an 81 rated this year as my striker because, again, I want to give the academy La Masia a go to maybe not find the next Messi, but maybe the next Suarez. As I'm going to set every scout to look for a striker because that's what we need most. Went to Uruguay, of course, then Spain and Germany in honor of the manager Hansi Flick, and we found some players at right wing from Germany who are decent. Won't play due to Yamal, but we've got Gabriel Canales and Luis Velasquez, the Spaniard. I'd love it to be a Spaniard striker. The next David Villa for Barcelona would be epic, but at the moment we're searching to buy the next Puyol or the next Piqué, a Spaniard hopefully. At centre-back, but looking through the options the second time round, no one really appeals. I mean, yes, I'm looking broadly, but I couldn't find anyone. So maybe we go the gaffer's country, Germany. We could trust it to find us something special, and Malik Thiaw of Germany, 6'4", 24, room for growth, 84 rating. It really sits right with me. Maybe not the price tag too much, but at least that's someone to sit next to Ronald Araujo going into this season with Gavi now in the team, and maybe changes up front to come. And just like that, no Ballon d'Or again. This is getting to me now. I would like one. It doesn't count as a trophy as we lose the trophy in the league by 11 points. Now 3 seasons deep, I do want to separate us from the Madrids, just be clear at the top of La Liga and going for the Champions League. But that doesn't seem to happen yet because both of them have got the better of us as we're beaten in the Super Copa. Again, the finale, this time by Atleti. And again in the Copa España, what is happening? Atletico Madrid. Simeone's getting the best out of them. What is he feeding his players? To get a Ballon d'Or winner as well. And okay, now you're taking the Michael. How are we all on the joint points, but the Madrid's both above us? To be fair, we did win it last time we finished third, and we've beaten Man City. We have beat Real Sociedad on aggregate after a 4-4 draw. Penalties had to separate us, and Madrid knocked out. We knocked Paris out for our second UCL title, and I just told you the ways I'm stepping this. I wanted to dominate La Liga, then move on to dominating the Champions League, but 2 out of 3 UCLs and 1 out of 3 La Liga titles. Gone quite the opposite as Thiaw. Not much growth in him, but look at the 90 rates to Stegen in goal at 35. He has really improved, and then we've got Dani Olmo at a 91, Torres at an 83, but but we did loan out our Brazilians. And yes, I said that plural, as that's the majority or the bulk of our ones. We did just loan out, like Marco Schwartz doing well, Matti Hahn. The Germans have come on brilliantly, like Machado, now 76. He could be the backup. Although no, Kanu Elias, he's gone up 6. Now he's an 82 overall. It's going to be him against Ferran Torres, now an 83. So he's just got the edge. But to be fair, we don't rely on our strikers. It's our wingers get the most goals here. Some serious Ballon d'Or shouts now because we've just won the UCL. Rafinha 99 pace. Unbelievable. If this card was in Ultimate Team, just look at the stats that would be madness. And you'd of course want to get it played every game, as Gavi is now playing every game. The only problem's Pablo Torre, another player we have to keep the entire save. Not doing it, as Thiau's now our weakest player and we've only just signed him. Alongside Torres and Kau Elias on the bench, he's still doing brilliantly. As I can't change the formation, we are under Hansi Flick's rules. And this is the formation we did start with, but I'm going to be a bit more aggressive, try and get more goals from the players, and we are only drawn to not changing the tactics, as I'm going to change my ideas. Maybe controversial, but I've changed Jamal and Rafinha's play styles, or roles should I say, because I'm going to do this move and you might not like it, but Rafinha, if he could be a striker, I do have in mind a very good winger that I am desperate to sign. And plus, we do have wingers at the club that could come to fruition in the future, like Matti Hahn, Newman, and Schwartz. In fact, 40 players, I'm going to have to release some of the lowest rated La Masia graduates will be leaving the club. I think everybody below 68 rated. So we can only use the best, and I'm trying to push the best to be our striker. But 358 weeks, it's not going to be enough, and plus he is 30-year-old. So I am going to sign the player I have in mind as a winger already. Change Torre to the right-hand side to be a backup, because the next guy is going to be a left mid, who will have to wait for his chance after Rafinha goes ahead and retires, which I think he will do very soon. Desire Doué on a wing with Yamal on the other in the future would be amazing. This man is literally the regen Neymar, more than Rafinha is, and he's actually cheaper than Thiau, the centre-back we just bought. And in honour of Neymar, because I think he's his regen, I'm going to give him the number 10 shirt, despite him starting on the bench, but him and Elias are definitely the future of Barcelona. And I'm genuinely fuming for this man because, again, no Ballon d'Or. Despite all them 40 goal plus seasons, not even a sniff of it. Yamal hasn't won it as well. He's gone down a rating. Same as Marc-Andre ter Stegen, but there's a reason behind that. He's getting older. And to be fair, the ratings are really good. We've now got 396s. Yamal may be injured. I'm just going to put it down to fitness. After all, he'll come good again. I know he's one of the world's best players. And he did only play 29 games. That explains it. As 30 goals for Raf, 18 assists for Jefferson Koundé, as we've got some youth growing now. Man, or Hahn, is 74 and Machado 79 now. He'll be competing with Kanu Elias, who hasn't grown much, same as Destiny Doué. Really stunting the growth on the bench. Firmin at least is getting played with Olmo. We just need game time sharing a little bit more, as Torres is still 84. He stays one ahead of Kau Elias at every single given moment, as the league finally won. Atletico Madrid down in 8th. I will take that as a trophy, but I want one season where we win everything. Just an invincible season. Maybe we lose some league games. We lose to Villarreal, and then we don't even make the España final. None of the Madrids do as well. It is Sociedad. Fair play, making it all the way. They beat us in the round of 16, but Liverpool, a European club, still couldn't beat us in the Super Cup. Stacking up trophies, that's what we need to do, because the leaderboard is coming. And top of the league phase, 0 defeats over Milano. Villarreal were up there. They seem a decent team, as we hammer Dortmund. We then beat Villarreal 5-2, so we get the revenge for the Supercopa. Then we hammer Paris, where we've just signed one of their best wingers from. And in an El Clasico finale, we beat Real Madrid by 2-0. And you may have heard a little smugness in my voice. I know how good we're going. I know we need to improve still, because now I'm looking at the ages of the players. Of course, we've been working La Masia, but we don't have a keeper, and a ter Stegen is 36. Yes, he's still 90 overall. Won't last like that for long, though, as Frankie de Jong, he is 31. Rafinha, we've kind of got a replacement for, same as Dani Olmo, not Theo Hernandez, unless you count Valle, but he is 24. more. Then we've got Karawelius, who's back up for Lewandowski, but still not in the team. And you could say he's not been really successful in getting his slot in the squad. So maybe we need to focus heavily on youth now. As players we haven't really focused on, Enrique Preza, a centre-back here. We could try and train. We've got Nicolas Soria, who I am going to move to a defensive mid position. It might take a while, as Pablo Torre, of course, he's changed to a right mid. Very versatile player, and shouldn't fail for some game time, as Desir Doué still training as a left mid. Hansi Flick is still in charge. We cannot change this formation up, and I don't feel like sacking him. So let's just use our best scout. And for me, it's experience over judgment in terms of stars. So we've gone for the 5-star experience. We're going to send him to Spain. Look for a striker, midfielder, defender, leave goalkeeper. Although I would like a Spanish one, because I do want to get more Spanish players in our squad. I'm up for signing a new one who will be on the bench for just a few seasons with that money. Let's lie, Barcelona never been short on money in this save, despite like real life struggling with the debt, as Julian Agrizabalala, I've butchered that. Butchered it that much, it even stunted me on the next word I said. And I'm going to take him straight off this list, as we have 3 choices from 3 different age groups. Johan Garcia, 27, goalkeepers last a bit longer, so we could have 10 years in him. But then there's Blanco, who's 18. I'm going to tick him off because Miguel Rojas at Leeds. Last time they had a Spanish keeper, I believe it was Iker Casillas, and I really would like to use him. 31 million. He's at the rating Kau's at now. Well, 1 lower, but still, we don't have to wait to increase him very long. And plus, he can sit on the bench for now. He'll have to wait for his chance, like some of these lads through the academy. Just like Rafinha's had to wait to get his hands on the Ballon d'Or, but it goes to Erling Haaland of Man City still. I think I'm starting to refuse to talk about the treatment of this guy globally. Yes, he's 32-year-old, but he's got 97 pace, 96 shooting. And after all, he scores goals. He's got 42 again in a year. This man should have won the Ballon d'Or, but he hasn't, and he's only getting older. Literally the Lewandowski treatment, as we have flown some youngsters out, and Enrique Prez is impressing. Only 19-year-old, 75 overall. Schwarz has been out on loan, and he's 20-year-old, but he's 74. Then Diogo Machado got a better loan deal to Lombardia or Inter, and he's doing phenomenally well, but we're still in a rut, losing the league by 5 points. We're literally just trading with Madrid. However, for the first time in this save, we've actually gone and won a Super Copa. Trophies is the aim, but then we fail in the Copa de España. Sevilla on penalties. I mean, it doesn't get any closer, really. We didn't concede a goal in the finale, and hey, the Super Cup counts as a trophy. Could we get ourselves high on that leaderboard, the leaderboard that comes later in the video, as we finish second in the UCL League phase, better than last year, in which we won this as we beat Liverpool, Milano, and Lombardia to get into another final, this time against Haaland, and beat his team. Yes, and this guy wins the Ballon d'Or each year. To be fair, I didn't realise the rating that he's on. 99 overall at Manchester City. How good would it be signing him? Just look at them stats. Look at the play styles. For some reason, a long throw. Although he's the striker who should be in the box, scoring from the long throws. But here is where we make a difference to this squad, because Desire Doué, really not used. Now a left midfielder, and we need an increase from his rating. You might think, Max, Rafinha's in that spot, but we have got to compete with Haaland, so 97 rated, and now a striker. Sorry to the other Brazilians, but he has got to take the spot up front. As look how many strikers on the bench now. We've got to get loaning. We can't keep them all here. Plus, Firmin's on the bench. He's almost a 90 overall himself. Would be mean to keep him out the team, so could he fight for Doué's spot on that left-hand side of midfield, or even Dani Olmo go out wide? I think that could be a little better, getting a La Masia player in the squad. As you might have clocked there as well, we've only got 2 goalkeepers at the club now. We've got Peña with a bit of experience, and Rojas, who's 21, in the team because I released Marc-Andre ter Stegen. He is 37-year-old, and we are halfway through the rebuild now. So I'm tempted to let Rojas have a go. I'm tempted to use the academy at the same time, but with the trophy count being so high, I think we've got to buy a new starter. We can't give up on this challenge, although we've only received achieved 100 million. So maybe it's time that a player goes. And I did mention the striker scenario. Ferran Torres, I'm sorry, mate. I know you're a versatile player, but you've got to go. Barcelona back where they were before, needing that cash into the club. First time I think I've actually had to go out there and sell a player in this career mode. And I'm happy to take that cash, 54.9 million euros, taking us to 154. But then again, I do like Rojas as a keeper. I'm torn in the mind, but we do need to get someone of quality right now. And with Man City pushing as far in the Champions League last season, I do want to check who they've got. Edison, I'm not a fan, but in the Premier League at Nottingham Forest, Gregor Kobel's been there and done that. Yes, he's gone against Hansi Flick with Dortmund when he was the Bayern manager, but this man shouldn't be at Nottingham Forest. We do only need a short-term replacement for our man in between the sticks, and I think this will be a perfect bargain. We didn't even have to sell Ferran Torres, but I'm glad we did because we weren't going to play him, probably loan another striker out and welcome in Gregor Kobel. Yes, and this is exactly what we needed to happen. Desiree has grown, albeit from the bench. Not much growth in Kau Elias, but Olmo hasn't trained to be a left mid yet, so it's probably give Doué a little bit of game time. Firming now to a 90 rating, but Rafinha on the way down, and he didn't get the Ballon d'Or again. Guess who it went to? Well, you don't have to guess. It went to that man Haaland. If you're 90 rated, you beat every single one of these in this list. As Lamine Yamal's not growing though, have we got to make a change with this man here? Managerial or something else? We could make him the cam in the team. We could even make him the striker, you know. Rafinha isn't getting any younger. The only problem is he should have been the next Messi, which we can fix very soon. More to come on that in a minute, as he did outscore Rafinha as a striker. Oh my days, as we fall. We need to get this squad a little younger, or just try something different, because not winning La Liga with our team, shameful. And we've lost to Sevilla again. I'm gonna have to check Sevilla's squad and Madrid's, because to be over our squad, which is almost all 90 overalls, it's sensational for them as we go and lose to Bilbao. What is happening here? Can we just lift a Spanish trophy? As watch this, we won the Super Cup 2-1 over Newcastle, the Georgies. Oh, and now we're going to say we'll do the UCL again, but we actually finished 12th in the group phase, or the league phase, but then beat Roma, then beat Leverkusen 5-3, to move on to Monaco 5-1. I swear to God, if we still do this, at least we've took over Real Madrid with their Champions League heights. They've won 6 of the last 10 as we hammer Liverpool to beat Milano. 3 goals to do, or Inter Milan. I don't believe it. Terrible in Spain, but still winning the Champions League. And this is where it gets interesting, but not only interesting, but peculiar, because it's interestingly weird how the budget's going down. A Barcelona skin to gain. Do we have no money? I mean, I wouldn't blame us having no money with the squad we have. It only takes a scroll to see how good some of these players actually are. Only Kobel under 90 rated. We have Doué sat on the bench. We could do with another centre-back, but Garcia will just put in for now. Because my plan was very simple. There is contracts to sign up. We've got a striker in Rafinha. We do have a winger in Lamine Yamal. However, 1 week to a striker himself, I am going to make that switch to have Yamal and Doué in the squad. We're in the 7th season. Them two should last us out till the end. And with Barcelona struggling for money, with Rafinha's contract expiring, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try and sell who should have won the Ballon d'Or for us, as it's between now, Haaland, and getting a different, interesting option, because we have our next Neymar, Desiree Doué. He just likes to act like him. We have who people say is the Messi regen, but I'm going to say David Villa as a Spanish striker, leaving us needing the new Messi on the right-hand side. Maybe an Argentinian, as Pablo Torre is the next choice as right mid, but I don't see him being any use. We've got them players we can go out on loan, and Cabezas, he's the Argentinian that never lived up to it. Maybe could chuck him out on loan, so I'm going to see the money we can get him for Raf and add it to the 95, and then go out there and hopefully get an Argentinian. Would be really nice to replicate him, as the only offer we're getting though is for Lamine Yamal, or big offer we're getting, 300 million. But sorry, I'm not doing it, and I am so sorry to the legend Rafinha. Really has been a help, but he's got to go to Chelsea for almost 200 million. I know his age played a factor in the cheapness. And Haaland, man, his price has gone down. He's such a distraction. But no, we need the Messi, and hopefully there is a regen in town from Argentina on the right mid position. There is one who's playing European football, maybe not at the highest level. In this man, Thiago Almada, he's just made the move to Lyon. However, knocked out in the Champions League by none other than Manchester United. So I think I'll go for the second option, Gianluca Prestiani. This little fella, or not little, I know he's 5'5", I don't mean to offend him. Might be the new Messi though, as he's in front of Kante, so he's got some support. As Doué's now 92 rated, Yamal is now a striker at 96, supported by 2 players from the academy. We haven't got a true one though. From the academy, from the off, as you can see, the players down here are pretty meh. However, I have been doing my loaning out because I really want a decent player by the end of the save, as Ramos has done alright, but not as good as Matty Hahn. I'm going to regret signing who I just signed, as Schwartz and Presser, both good at Rangers. Hector Fort, who was here from the start, he's really impressed out on loan at Wolves, then Cabezas at Cagliari, but Machado at Liverpool. The new Roberto Firmino, the Brazilian, playing over there. And will give us a striker behind, Lamine Yamal, 39 goals. Doué with quite a few as well, but Dani Olmo on the decline, so I'm going to offer him that left mid slot because I think he's got more chance there than in the middle. Plus Firmin's from the academy, as it is a dominant league win. Holy fall off for Real Madrid, 6th place on 65 points. No UCL football, and this year the better in the Supercopa of Bilbao, who we failed against last year, but it won't be an unbeatable season. Or not unbeatable, but just a run straight through of trophies. A quad, I'm trying to say. As Racing Club beat us on penalties, I can imagine the scenes there. As they do it, and I forgot about the Super Cup, Sevilla, a very good team, like I said. Gonna maybe have to shop there as we win the Super Cup over them, so we've got the better of them this year. And I just realised I didn't sim all the way to the end of the season. There's a surprising story in a minute, but we actually won the league by 93 points. I missed 2 games off, forgive me, as we did finish 4th in the Champions League phase, with Stuttgart in the round of 16, another hammering for another German team, then a hammering of Club Brugge, a demolition of Sevilla, adds to another finale with Milano, and another thrashing, this time in the last game. As season 8 now, some call the penultimate because we don't get much done, in season number 10, and this is the squad. We can actually fully see it. Yamal still up front, and of course Flick is still the manager. We've got Firmin, Doué, Gavi, we've got a decrease in De Jong, and I'm starting to think now DMs can win the Ballon d'Or, as that's what we want to do. We want a player that is the world's best before the end of the save, and I also want an academy player in the team, and this man looks the best one. He's 24 now, and he isn't Spanish, but just look at Diogo Machado now. He is going to have to sign a new contract, as when we flicks to his stats, finesse shot, 97 pace, 89 shooting, which still isn't better than Yamal. Look at Yamal, he's absolutely spotless. And then we've got Hahn coming through the ranks. He could have been a good player with a little more time. As now we do have a right winger, and we made a lot of money on Rafinha, so we've got 164 million this year. Finally, the board back to backing us, and I am going to sell De Jong. He's been an incredible servant to the club, but Casado is on the bench, and we need someone, like I say, really truly world class. The only 99 rated I know on the game is Erling Haaland at the moment, and I am going to cross him off. We've got a 97 rated striker and an 88 on the bench. Would be wasting our own potential, but like I said before, I'm checking Sevilla. They've won European Cups before. They must have won it last year because we played them in the Super Cup. And some special players, Alvaro Carreras from Manchester United. At one point in his career, they've got Marco Rizzo, another decent young striker. However, I think it is this man that's carried them to all their trophies, Alberto Molero. 27 years of age, not useful to us. And let's not lie, he won't win the Ballon d'Or. We need a Ballon d'Or winner. Hopefully in the DM position, as Valverde's at Manchester City. Same with Camavinga. It would be traitorous to do that though. I'm going to take my time over this, and the next stop is Liverpool, who do have our ex-player Marc Bernal, who started at the club. But this man, he might not win the Ballon d'Or, but a 26-year-old Spaniard, Stefan Bajcetic, currently out on loan in real life. Gonna cost a lot of money, but if I can get De Jong in a swap deal. Yes, I know it's another one signing season. I know it is not a Ballon d'Or winner, but it'll make Man United jealous having De Jong plus he goes to the Dutch manager. Our very own version of Rodri, as the team that used to own the big man, now sat second by 10 points. They can't have a Ballon d'Or winner. Surely not, surely, as I really wanted to get an unbeaten season, collect all 5 trophies, but we don't, because the Super Copa's a loss. And then the Copa de España is as well. Oh god, we're only on 1 trophy. Losing to Sociedad again in this one, another team that I'm going to have to check the players of. Super Cup's always ours though. Sorry Arsenal, get out of our way. However, the Champions League, wow. I don't have a clue what's happened with Barca. 1 win, 28th place, 3 draws. 28th place. Leipzig went on to win it, so even Man City with Haaland couldn't capitalise. But Hansi Flick, what are you doing to us? We can't be that bad. We've got a 91 rated in for someone who was 91 also. I see a defender missing though. No Ronaldo Araujo. It is Eric Garcia. And on the bench, Cabrera. He's a striker. He's not going to get utilised. We do have this man Preza. Unfortunately not grown at the club, which I thought he would do, and some downgrades. Jules Koundé to a 94. Theo Hernandez to a 92. And Danny Olmo all the way to an 85. But there was a positive player. Maybe you saw it in the corner of your eye. Kauna Elias, I loaned him out to Girona. 94 rated. Has the Ballon d'Or winner always been here from Shakhtar? I really hope he has been. As Cristiano, love the goals, mate, but it's Yamal, always on top. He's so close to a 99. Just roll over the line. Get your goals done. Lift that Ballon d'Or, but also lift this team a little bit, because we're going to have to go shopping again. Maybe for once, for more than one player. As now into our 9th season, the penultimate one. I know it's sad, but we have only made 8 signings. We've made less signings than seasons gone by and won loads of trophies, as a lot of money, because we lost Ronaldo Araujo. He has gone to Arsenal, a 98 rated. What is going on here? I guess in the future ratings get crazy and he's going to be next to Pau Cubarsí, the other defender we sold a while ago. Arsenal's defence is solid. And like I always say, we can't re-sign players, so we can't get Cubarsí back. Which is a shame, as I want to make signings. And of course, this team beat us in competitions. Sociedad as Ikenna. 25-year-old looks decent. Of course, we covered for strikers now, and Lamens, a decent goalie I've never heard of. And in terms of defenders, it's just like Real Madrid's just lost every single player of note from their good days to someone lower down like Eder Militao. Unbelievable as what the Real Madrid look like, a shadow of themselves. But then Balde, Bellingham, Foden, that isn't that bad. Should be challenging us a little bit more, like Kalmea, like Kylian Mbappe. Just looking at him reminds me of the Ballon d'Or, which we really want to win before the 2 seasons are up. With this man right here, who scores for fun, but I'm going to try and squeeze more goals from him. As what if he went back to the wing position? Because Prestani, I'm really happy to have him. But let's not lie, when we've got Kauna Elias, that's another player that could potentially win the Ballon d'Or. With his +9 growth, so he goes into the team, and we are desperate for a centre-back. As with Arsenal getting a good defence, they've had to ship out a good defence, leaving this man available, William Saliba. And because I want more than one sign-in, so I'm still going to splash a lot of cash on a man not higher than 90 overall, as it messes me up a little bit having someone lower than 90 in the team overall. Just does something to my head, but at least we can't help it. He's one of the best out there that didn't belong to us in the past, as we've got a lot of French players in there, and this bench I'm looking at just looks absolutely amazing. Maybe one switch. So sorry to him, but we can't get rid of him. Pablo Torre back to the left-hand side. Unless we kind of sunk his career again by signing another left midfielder, because that's what I had in mind. I always wanted another one, and I saw this man was a little bit old. Alex Baena should see us out for 2 more seasons. We've got him cheaper because he's out of contract at Napoli, who are a decent European side, and sorry, once more to Pablo Torre. However, one player I don't feel sorry for is this man, which finally, after a Haaland-dominated world, wins the Ballon d'Or, Lamine Yamal. So buzzing for this man, but he doesn't look like he wants to be a right mid anymore. 98 rated, almost 99. If he could reach that Haaland rating, it would be beautiful. As Kauna Elias, he's not doing too well, and I do see a change in the midfield. Prestiani, I don't mind it now that Firmin's unfortunately left. I think that is the only change though. Kobel started going down. A few players have, as we've also lost another player on this bench. Was it a left back or a right back? Hector Fort, I'm believing it is. And yes, correct. Actually, a few transfers going through, like Firmin went to Real Madrid for 300 million, Cristiano United, Rojas Madrid. I knew I wanted to let them expire. I thought I could make signings this year or this final year coming up, as Yamal was actually outscored. As the Ballon got to his head, because Cristiano the best player here. At least we do win a trophy though, and only 2 defeats in La Liga. Beautiful being at the top. I mean, only 5 points. The gap's getting slimmer. But we are winning stuff as the Supercopa also wrapped up. We need these trophies in order to have the most overall, and we are 3 for 3. We could do this. Oh no, we couldn't, because it's the 1 year we're actually not in the Super Cup. Damn it. Can we get there again? The only way to get there is through the UCL win. Can't go through the Europa, and I think that is just missing out on a playoff game. Yes, it is. Finishing 8th, and we beat Lombardia 3-1. As with our firepower, come on, we are demoralizing teams. Atleti de Madrid, it's gone past destroying. Bayern Munich, we had to come back against though. Milano not winning their final, and that's a shame because I always like to play them. But Dortmund are a team on FIFA I just love to beat as well. 3-1. Can we just keep up the UCLs for 1 more year? As here we are, here we go, as the song goes, final season time. Year 10 at Barcelona. My favourite Spanish club, as I've said plenty of times, and that team, we've got the Neymar regen, also the Messi double regen, because let's face it, Yamal's got to go on that side, and we have trusted the same manager, Hansi Flick, all the way, so we've been unable to change the formation. However, this year it's just got to a point where I want to go all out for everything, so I'm pushing my team a little bit more forward, keeping Yamal on the right and changing him back to a right midfielder as soon as he actually makes that switch. Cristiano will be my cam, and Pablo Torre back to a left mid backup. As that reminds me, one player we haven't praised nearly enough in this career mode is Pablo Gavi, one of the players we had to keep, grown magnificently since Pedri left, and to be fair, his stats look very good for a centre-back. Might just try him there, because if Saliba's rating starts hitting rock bottom, a really bad Saliba could mean a really bad final trophy season. And when this is ultimately a competition, if you do want to see all the rest of the 10 season rebuilds, they're in the playlist this video will be on. If you go to the channel and you click playlists, you can see how we've done before this, as 222 million for a midfielder. Again, but this time I'm not worried about a Ballon d'Or winner. We've got one of those. As something out of the ordinary I want, maybe looking in the Serie A. Alexander Pavlovic is really good. He's not at that 90 rating mark. Kind of the benchmark for this squad, and Tchouameni is at Lombardia. After Real Madrid got torn apart and Casado got torn from us, so maybe we go for Man United's regen, younger than Casado, Declan Dixon. Defensive midfielder who could haunt Real Madrid for the ages. And that is just what we want, as they're direct rivals in FC Barcelona. As having him and Saliba, one mimicking an Arsenal player, one an ex-Arsenal one. It should haunt the rivals, of course, although Saliba's going to go to the bench because Gavi's moving in. And the one thing that I do truly regret, not getting a real good regen for ourselves. We've got Diogo Machado, who's always been unlucky, as a backup, as the best Spanish player, Enrique Preza, at only 80 overall. A big bit of shame, but no shame in having a La Masia player doing well, and actually make it 2 of them doing very, very well at this club. The less, the better, because Yamal is now a 99 rated player. And here we are, everyone. This is it. The trophies, the players. We're going to go through everything as we do. Win La Liga. We win the Supercopa as well. Brilliant work. 2-1. We lose the Copa de España though. 2-1 to Madrid. Shame they get a laugh in the final of the last season as Braga. Oh no, that makes me feel disappointed for the Champions League finale, which could make or break if we've won the most trophies in this 10 seasons out of all of them, as this is the team. Kanu Ellis still not playing. Might have given game time to Yamal, which I can't complain about. It's not the best team we've had. 80 rated getting game time, but still, I'm not too bothered. I'm only bothered about the goals that Lamine Yamal's been scoring. As this is it, the leaderboards. First we go to goal scorers, adding a Spanish player to the list because Lamine Yamal does finish 5th only. If it would have gone to 11 places, Rafinha would have been 11th. Shocking time in his assists. He gets on there again, just in 9th. Scraping it. No room for any other players on them. As goalkeepers, though, We've got 8th and 9th added to the list. As clean sheets are hard to come by, but Kobel's done it perfectly despite his -2 now. But did he do it in the Champions League? Well, I am going to quickly skip to the end. We finished 8th. I still see the team, and a 4-0 demolition job of Paris Saint-Germain could be the real-life finale. Means Barcelona don't win it by 1. I double bluffed. 24 trophies. Top of the trophy leaderboard is this team right here, our first team in España. Going to be hard to knock some of them players out as well on them goal score and assist lists. But if you do want to see more 10 season rebuilds, let me know in the comments below and I will bring them to you. I can't wait to get to see some of your suggestions. As if you don't have any, please do leave a like, subscribe for more of these videos, and I will see you on the next one of these or the next video on the channel shortly.